Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Samantha Leighanne and I talk about books. It's time for another book tag. I am doing the I Dare You book tag. I was tagged by Julie from over at Pages and Pens. I will make sure that put an info card up above for her channel, and I can't remember who she was tagged by and I can't remember the original creator because I'm a terrible human being and I didn't do my research first, but I will make sure that I find the original creator and put a link in the description below. So credit is given where credit is due. But the whole point of this book tag is to be completely honest. So I actually haven't seen any of the questions aside from whenever I watched Julie's video, which was actually like a week ago or something like that. So I don't remember any of the questions, so everything's gonna be like off the fly and all of that good stuff. I think that there's a bunch of questions, so let's just go ahead and jump right into everything. Number one, what book has been on your shelves the longest? Honestly, I'm probably gonna have to go with some of my Kings because some of those are actually copies of my mom's that were passed on to me before I really started collecting books. So I would probably have to say some of those. Number two, what is your current read, your last read, and your next read? Current reads are The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas and A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. My last read was The Circle by Dave Eggers. Fuck that book. And the book that I'll read next is, I don't know, maybe Every Hearted Doorway. Not really sure. I don't really make TBRs. I just kind of read what I feel like reading, so. What book did everyone like that you hated? Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. That whole trilogy was just, I didn't connect with it. I didn't really like it, but everybody raved about how wonderful it was. So yeah, that whole trilogy was just, I didn't really care for it that much. Sorry. Number four, what book do you keep telling yourself that you'll read and you probably won't? I keep telling myself that I'm going to read the Mortal Instruments series just because everybody has read them, but if I'm completely honest with myself, I'm probably just not gonna read them. I have an ebook version of the first, and I don't know, I'm just kind of like, I don't want to say that I'm over that, but I'm kind of over that. Like, I'm not really all that interested in it, and I know that everybody talks about how wonderful that series and like the Infernal Devices and, you know, all that stuff is, but I don't know, it's just, I'm not that interested, so, you know, sorry. Number five, what book are you saving for retirement? I'm probably not going to be able to retire with the direction that this country is going, so, you know, there's that. So I don't really have like a book that I'm saving for retirement. I'm just kind of, you know, reading what I want to read. Number six, last page, read it first or wait till the end. Wait till the end. I used to have a really bad problem of reading last pages first. I don't know what my deal was. I just like, I needed to know. So I would like go back and read the last couple pages just so that I could like know what was going on. Since I started doing audiobooks, I've been doing that a lot less. So, and I don't have like the desire or the drive to do it anymore. So yeah, wait till the end. Number seven, acknowledgement, a waste of paper and ink, or interesting aside. I like reading acknowledgements. I think that it's interesting. Either acknowledgements or author's notes or things like that. I think that it's really interesting, especially when the author provides kind of like a headspace as to, you know, why they wrote it, or, you know, just some background on like the research that went into it or something like that. I always find that interesting. So, you know, yeah. Number eight, what book character would you switch places with? Two things that are popping into my head are any of the Pevensey children from Narnia after the White Witch, or one of the kids from, you know, Harry Potter and live in the wizarding world after, you know who was defeated or whatever. That would be fun. You know what would also be fun? It would also really be fun to be on the Wayfarer with the characters from The Long Way to a Small Airy Planet. I would switch place with, what is her name? Rosemary, that's her name. Okay, I would switch places with her because I think that that would just be awesome. Number nine, do you have a book that reminds you of something specific in your life, a person, a place, or a time? I have a lot of those. I can remember reading certain books for the first time. You know, like I remember reading the Narnia books for the first time. The Babysitter's Club brings me back to my childhood and going shopping at an old used bookstore that we had here in town, like way back when with my mom. A lot of the Stephen Kings that I've read have a very like particular like memory in my head about like when I read those and what my thoughts were. The Crank trilogy by Ellen Hopkins, I remember I devoured the first at the beach one year whenever my husband and I were on vacation. I have so many of those. Number 10, name a book that you acquired in an interesting way. Honestly, I don't think that I've acquired many books in an interesting way. Most of my books have either been gifted or I've just bought them myself, so I don't really have an answer for that. Number 11, have you ever given away a book for a special reason to a special person? I haven't given that many books as gifts, and honestly, one of the reasons for that is because I don't really have a lot of readers in my life. I think I've given a couple of books to, one of my best friends, but I don't think that I don't think that I have anything else for that question. Number 12, what book has been with you the most places? That could be considered any of my ebooks because I always have my phone on me, or I always have my Nook on me. As far as physical books, I'm not really sure because I don't really bring physical books with me to very many places. Those usually just stay at my house. And I don't even think that I brought like physical books with me on vacation because I'm always afraid I'm gonna like leave them somewhere or they're gonna get fucked up or something. So number 13, any required reading you hated in high school that wasn't so bad 2 years later. Honestly, there weren't very many books that I hated as required reading whenever I was in high school. For the most part, I actually liked most of them. I didn't really care for Shakespeare, but I haven't reread Shakespeare since then, which I just recently got this giant bind up of like all of his plays, and it is beautiful. I might be doing a book haul pretty soon, and that'll be included maybe, but that's the only thing I can think of. Number 14, used or brand new, and either or. Any way you can get a book, any way you can read a book, I will take it however it comes to me. I have no preference. Number 15, have you ever read a Dan Brown book? No. And honestly, I don't really care to. It's like I have no desire to read the Da Vinci Code or any of that stuff. Like, it just doesn't exactly interest me. I never saw those movies, so no, just eh. Number 16, have you ever seen a movie that you liked more than the book? Yeah, I really can't think of anything. And honestly, I tend to stay away from book to movie adaptations just because the book's always better or whatever. But yeah. Number 17, have you ever read a book that's made you hungry, cookbooks included? Well, obviously to me, if you're reading a cookbook, like that's gonna make you hungry, or you're reading it because you're hungry and you're looking for what to cook for yourself. So I kind of feel like that's implied. But if we're talking about an actual book, but one of the books that I read recently, Before We Visit the Goddess by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni, a lot of that book was centered around the Indian culture and the food and the sweets especially. And I was reading that and I'm like reading the description of like these sweets because one of the characters' mothers, owns basically a bake shop. And all I wanted was like these delicious sounding pastries. Like I just wanted them so bad. And even some of the actual Indian food that was described, the food was very central to that book. So I was like, God, I want all of this food right now. So I really enjoyed that. And number 18, who's the person whose book advice you will always take? And honestly, I really feel like that's kind of like the entire booktube community because that's where I get most of my recommendations and stuff. So I'll kind of see like what the consensus is and then kind of go from there, especially when it comes to books who may have like a harmful rep or something like that. I'm not one of those people that wants to read it to decide for myself. If it's harmful, I'm gonna, nope, not gonna read it. But that's a whole other discussion that we're not gonna go into today. So those were all the questions. So since this is a tag, I have to tag people. So I'm gonna tag Jess and Christina from Game of Tomes. I'm gonna tag The Baked Book. I'm gonna tag Symone Books. I'm gonna tag Bree Hill. I'm gonna tag Jasmine from Novel Thoughts. All of those channels will be linked in the description below so you can check them out because all of those booktubers are super awesome. So that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. We can be friends. All of my social media is linked down in the description below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and click subscribe if you have not already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.